Oregon, it will only affect the plaintiff in Oregon, not the entire country. So yes, it's indirectly, but that's pending litigation, and we're waiting on that in the next term.
And how concerned are you that the Supreme Court will come back and determine that the executive order is unconstitutional?
Oh, we're very confident in the Supreme Court, but again, it's pending litigation, and that will directly be determined in October, but it indirectly impacts every case in this country, and we're thrilled with their decision today. Peter.
Madam Attorney General, thank you for being here to take our questions. A couple questions to the both of you. The EO had a 30-day grace period before it goes into effect. Is there any thought about trying to make it effective immediately within that period of time?
We're going to follow the law. We're going to make those decisions, and we're going to do what's right in the bounds of the law.
And then the DOJ didn't ask the justices to rule on the merits of the birthright citizenship ban. Just for explanation purposes, why?
Sure, because that's going to come down in October in the separate. This was huge because it's indirectly impacted today. As I said, it's case by case. Let me reiterate, of the 35 of the 40 nationwide injunctions filed against this president, against his executive authority as President of the United States, 35 of them came from Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, California, Washington. I mean, that's crazy. These 5 districts. So yes, it indirectly impacts us. It will be a separate decision in October. Next question.
Thank you, Mr. President. A question for you, sir. Do you believe this ends the power of the lower court judges to stop your agenda? Do you see this as a full green light for your agenda going forward?
Well, you'd have to really speak to the lawyers about that. But this is really also a decision based on common sense. It didn't work the other way. It was a disaster where somebody from a certain location in a very liberal state, or a liberal judge, or a liberal group of judges could tie up a whole country for years, because their decision would sometimes take years to overturn. We've overturned many of the decisions, but it would take years to do it. And we have to act quickly when it comes to illegal immigration. We have murderers, killers, we have drug dealers, we have what they've allowed to come into our country should never be forgotten. It should never be forgotten what they've done to our country. And we have to be able to act very quickly, and we're going to do that. Thank you.
Just as Amy Coney Barrett, sir, I know that you praised her and her opinion here in this case. She has taken some heat, though, from some of your supporters who have labeled her weak, a squishy, a rattled law professor. What is your take on that?
I don't know about that. I just have great respect for her. I always have. And her decision was brilliantly written today. From all accounts, yeah.
Transgender rulings,
Mr. President, what would you say to Americans who fear that this is more and more concentration of power in the White House and the executive?
Well, this really brings back the Constitution. This is what it's all about, and this is really the opposite of that. I mean, the question is fine, but it's the opposite. The Constitution has been brought back.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Illegal crossings in the border are 0 now.
0. Does everyone hear that? 0.
Trump 2028!
Do you intend, President Trump?
Who's that guy? I like him. He's working the cameras.
With this new reality, President Trump, in the border, do you intend to engage personally with leaders from South America, not only Central America,
Sure.
in order to
I
tackle
do that anyway.
this situation in
I
a
do that
virtual
anyway.
way, and if you have a perspective of meeting some
Sure.
presidents from South America, as Brazil, for example.
Well, you should, as an example, not South America, but NATO over the weekend.
Yeah.
They have great respect for our country now. They did things that nobody thought was possible. They took funding from 2% to 5%. Nobody thought they'd ever pay the 2%, and now they're paying the 5%. It's over $1 trillion more a year. Think of that, $1 trillion. Nobody thought that could happen. That's a different group of people, different countries. But we get along with a lot of countries. We are respected again. Our country, the U.S., is respected again. Was not respected 6 months ago. I can tell you.
Can we ask about the big beautiful?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Mr. President, you have a deadline coming up on trade in 2 weeks. Which countries, if
On what?
any, on trade, on tariffs,
Yeah.
sir, which countries, if any, are close to agreements with the administration?
Well, that's an interesting question. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal with probably 4 or 5 different countries. With the UK, it was a great deal for both. And we're in the process of making some others. But ultimately, in fact, Scott is here, and Howard Lutnick, these 2 guys have been doing an incredible job, and the people that work with them have been doing an incredible job. But, we have 200 countries, you could say 200 countries plus. We can't do that. So at a certain point over the next week and a half or so, or maybe before, we're going to send out a letter. We talked to many of the countries, and we're just going to tell them what they have to pay to do business in the United States. And it's going to go very quickly. But some of the bigger countries, so India, I think we're going to reach a deal where we have the right to go in and trade. Right now, it's restricted. You can't walk in there. You can't even think about it. We're looking to get a full trade barrier dropping, which is unthinkable. And I'm not sure that that's going to happen, but as of this moment, we've agreed to that, go into Indian trade. We're going to be trading in China. That's going to come a little bit down the road, but we're going to be trading in China. We have a lot of great things going, and we're getting along with countries, but some will be disappointed because they're going to have to pay tariffs. And we've taken in already hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. No inflation. The only problem we have is we have a Fed guy that doesn't understand what's happening, and it would be great if he'd lower the rate because we'd be able to borrow a lot cheaper. Yeah, go ahead, please. Why don't we keep it on this subject? This is such a big subject. You know what? Trade is so big, but this, I don't know, in a certain way, this might be bigger than trade. I think this is bigger than trade. Yes, please, go ahead.
I was wondering, though, if you could...
Go ahead.
Sir, on the transgender ruling, the Supreme Court ruling that parents with religious objections can pull their kids out of public school lessons that use LGBTQ materials. Pam brought it up. Your reaction to that ruling today, sir?
I think the ruling was a great ruling, and I think it's a great ruling for parents. It's really a ruling for parents. They lost control of the schools. They lost control of their child. And this is a tremendous victory for parents. And I'm not surprised by it, but I am surprised that it went this far. It took us to bring life back to normal. So it's a wonderful, it's parental. And I kept saying, we will give you back your parental rights. They were taken away, and this is a tremendous victory for parents. Yeah.
Mr. President, if you look at the back at the last week, it's been extraordinary in terms of the action in the Middle East. You were at The Hague. I'm wondering
now. Hell of a week, hasn't it?
I'm wondering now if you believe that Iran. I'm wondering now, sir, if you believe that Iran has given up its long history of ambitions with nuclear weapons, or what you would like to see from them to prove that they do, and what type of meetings is your administration looking for next week with Iran?
So Iran wants to meet. As you know, their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. They were, now has been proven. We had some fake news for a little while. The same people that covered the Hunter Biden laptop was from Russia. The same people that did 3 or 4 other Russia hoax.
But on their
no, wait, just listen. Refrigerator door, as they say, that's the size of a target, and overwhelmingly, and it's amazing what was done. We're the only ones that could have done it, and we took out the 2 of the other sites also. In addition to that, we finished them off. That was a very evil intention. I believe that, and again, time will tell, but I don't believe that they're going to go back into nuclear anytime soon. They spent over $1 trillion on nuclear, and they never got it together. And nothing was moved from the site, by the way. To do that is very dangerous. It's very, very heavy material. Those cars were most likely the cars of masons because they were pouring concrete at the top, at the hatch, as you know, the hatch going into the nuclear site. They wanted to reinforce it, and they had some masons there pouring concrete. By the way, that concrete was obliterated. It hit exactly at the concrete. It was, I don't think it had a chance to dry, but everything's down there. It's under millions of tons of rock.
I've literally have no concept of time. I have no concept. Am I even visible right now? I have no concept of time. I have no concept of the days. I have no concept of literally anything. Do you know how mentally exhausting it is to work double at a kosher restaurant back to back to back to back to back to back to back? It's the weekend, but it's not the weekend, but it's Friday, but the kids are here, but whatever. Oh my god, this has been such a long week. And now I have to, I haven't even been keeping that up to date with the political and economic state of the world because I've literally been nonstop at, fucking work. I picked one thing that I was going to take daily notes on, and it was the Iran war. So I have a lot of notes on that, and I know literally nothing about anything else. So we're gonna do a fun recap stream of the political and economic state of the world. Last time I checked, everything was going to shit and we were close to World War III. I don't know. DK. Okay. What's up, chat? I haven't even set up the chat yet. Okay. Thank you so much, Gamer, for the $5. Glad the Senate didn't pass his budget bill. Did that officially happen? That's good. See, I have no clue. I don't know. Zero clue. This fat dipshit ballsack of a president can't even read a Supreme Court ruling. Why is he speaking on it? Yeah, I want to go through all of them. Like, I think they said, like, 6 just came out. I saw, I just want to, I'm going to show you guys my, I'm going to show you guys my phone notifications because it's actually, like, the amount of updates that I've been getting this morning is insane. I'm overwhelmed. I hope everyone is doing okay. It's overwhelming. It's a lot. Hang on, this is really funny though. How do I get my notifications down here? Hang on, pending. Damn, I can't see my notifications. Okay, hang on. I guess I'll just read them out because I can't, I don't know why my screen mirroring isn't letting me show the notifications, but it's literally Supreme Court grants Trump win in birthright citizenship. How Trump upended 60 years of civil rights in 2 months. U.S. Supreme Court to rule on birthright citizenship. Supreme Court released decisions in birthright citizenship live updates. How the birthright citizenship nationwide injunctions began. Analyzing all 6 Supreme Court decisions from today. Trump prepares on how to open Pandora's box on budget gimmicks. Supreme Court lowers court's power to block Trump. How Supreme Court ruling could revive some contested Trump policies. Random Zohran Mamdani and Donald Trump have a lot in common? Huh? Okay. See the scene outside of the U.S. Supreme Court on the historic day of decisions. Breaking news, the Supreme Court limited nationwide injunctions. Breaking news, the Supreme Court said schools must allow parents to opt out of classes where LGBTQ stories are discussed. Breaking news, the Supreme Court upheld the Affordable Care Act that requires insurance companies to offer preemptive care at no cost to patients. Oh, that's a good thing. Yay! Alright. Hey, how's it going? Oh, what's up, Classy? What's up, Hunter? No, I have no idea. Good shit. Not very tuned. How long are you streaming for? I'm about to work, but I'll probably come back to chat afterwards. I'd probably do till like 5, maybe Eastern. I'm like at least 3 hours. I got a lot to go through. Is Arya still promoting Cuomo for mayor? That's offensive. Jesus Christ. I don't think I ever supported Cuomo. I think I was reserved about Mamdani. I'm glad that he's the candidate now, but the reason why I was reserved has nothing to do with anything other than his weird economic policies. I am a New Yorker of the belief that it is okay that it's expensive to live in New York, and his like whole we're gonna make New York City affordable again. We're gonna make New York City affordable for the people. Oh, that's awkward. What just happened to my camera? We're gonna make New York City affordable for the people who have always lived here. Like, okay, the people that have always lived here probably moved to Florida and retired. Like, the people that are living in New York right now are not, like, I don't know, I feel like it's okay to have some places that are expensive and some places that are cheaper. And life is difficult and not everyone can get what they want all the time. So, hang on. Hang on. You mystify me. Okay, am I back? Did that lag for a bit? Okay. I'm joking. Stringer, Tilson had better housing policies. I should look at that. Do you use IG or other apps? Yeah, I mean, I don't use it, but I have it. Actually, let's go through my collections. Oh, I don't know why that's the first one that came up. Let's go through. Ooh. This eats.
I had to resign in disgrace. I have never cut Medicaid. I have never stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from the MTA. I have never hounded the 13 women who credibly accused me of sexual harassment. I have never sued for their gynecological records, and I have never done those things.
I love that energy, and I think it's okay that there are I think that it's okay that there are people in power that don't have the same economic ideas that I have. I think that I can still agree with them, even though I think it's kind of stupid.
It's because
This is base as fuck, and it goes so hard.
I am not you, Mr. Cuomo, and furthermore, the name is Mamdani. M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should learn how to say it. To Mr.
I wish he ended that with, "'Cause I'll be your future mayor." Like, you should learn how to say it, future mayor of NYC. I wish I could vote. I wish I technically lived in the city. I technically live in Nassau. But I was born in Queens, so I was technically born in the city. You mystify me. You mystify me. I have so many songs stuck in my head. Okay.
Please. Yes.
Your administration has said that El Salvador is one of the safest countries in the hemisphere. So why haven't you yet canceled temporary protected status for that country? Was it part of the deal?
Well, we'll take a look. We've had a great relationship with El Salvador.
Hang on, isn't it really fucked that we don't have better immigration system with El Salvador now that we literally are sending them our prisoners? That's kind of fucked. As a Salvadorian, I feel like I'm getting gypped. As a Salvadorian with family that is like super Salvadorian political. I don't know how to describe that other than exactly how I just did. They love Bukele. Like, I don't understand it. I'm looking at it from the outside. I feel like this dude's getting fucked in the ass by Donald Trump. He's sending over all of these random ass criminals, like basically perpetuating the stereotype that every brown man is an illegal criminal and they're all the same because they're all going to El Salvador even though they're Venezuelan. Like, what the like, that doesn't make any sense. And you're boasting and bragging about this insanely torturous labor prison camp in what most people don't even know is a country. Like, when I tell people I'm Salvadorian, I have to point it out to them on a map. Do you know how many people's only perception of El Salvador is going to be CCOT? Like, that's so fucked. No one's going to want to go on vacation there. No one's going to... Bukele was just... He just increased the tourism to El Salvador, like, insane. Compared to... Hang on. What? Salvadorian tourism before and after Bukele. Like, he literally revived El Salvador's economy solely off of tourism, off of marketing on the beaches, trying to make El Salvador the next fucking Bali. Like, yeah, you want to go on an exotic vacation to El Salvador, you want to drop a shit ton of money there? Who's gonna want to go there when they literally think that it's a labor prison camp overrun with fucking Venezuelan gang members that we're shipping over there? Like, I would be so mad if I was Bukele. If I was a Salvadorian that was living there, I would be so upset. Whatever. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm speaking out my ass. It's a possibility.
Salvador, they have a fantastic leader. They built a massive prison system. And I don't know exactly why, but it's a hell of a system. And we bring people there, and when they go there, they don't get out. And frankly, when they hear they have to go there, they become very nice people. They become very nice people. It's a tough system, but it's a brilliant system. And it's a system done by a very, very good leader. We'll talk about El Salvador. A lot of respect. Yeah, please.
Thank you. A question for you, and then a question for the Attorney General. As you go into...
I think this is actually hysterical. I thought you were Mexican. I'm probably racist. The first few streams I didn't even notice Arya. But I remember the Unix and Obsidian layout. I love you.
Negotiations and talks with Iran, are you demanding not only that there would be no uranium production inside of Iran, but also that Iran would turn over all existing stockpiles of uranium?
Well, you know, we're a little early for that, but something like that, yeah, we'll do something like that. Let me say that I've been saying for 25 years, even as a civilian, you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon, and that's what happened. It's been obliterated. It would be years.
I don't know if it's been obliterated, but not gonna lie. I think it's a good thing that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons, and I think it's very, very strange that there is an increase of people that are trying to justify Iran having nuclear weapons. Do we realize that there are, like, incorrect sides of history? Like, we all know that, right? Like, we can't live in a world where everything is just the same level of bad. Like, there is an objective worse. You can't say the West is, like, evil and then say Iran gets nuclear weapons because we're too righteous with our... Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, this isn't even the first time that the U.S. has, like, attacked Iran and their nuclear weapons, which I didn't know anything about this until I was doing my research. But I think it's so cool. We had an entire, like, malware bug. We developed the first, what was it? What was it called? Yeah. Stuxnex. This is so cool, okay? I'm a geek for this shit. I'm not a war hawk. I just am fascinated by technology. US and Israel developed this malware that they snuck in with, like, an agent on the on a USB drive, plugged it into computers. The computers, it duplicated itself, went absolutely crazy, and it infected all of these computers and made the centrifuges, which is what they use to enrich the uranium that they need to make the nuclear bombs. It's just a little spinny thingy, and it just goes spin, spin, spin. But it has to go spin, spin, spin at, like, a specific velocity, right? So the computers went fucking ballistic, and they made the malware bug that they put on it made all of these, like, 200,000 computers go insane. Spin, 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 spin. Completely destroyed all of the centrifuges, like, physically, which I think is crazy. It was the first time that we've ever been able to use malware to physically, like, first time we could use a cyber attack to physically manipulate the real, like, do you understand how insane that is? In, like, 2010, like, most people probably didn't even have an iPhone at that point, right? The iPhone came out in 2007. Like, people were still texting on Blackberries, I think. Maybe, I don't know, I wasn't really conscious, but, like, we were just able to, like, take, like, a USB drive and stick it in a computer and cause all of these centrifuges just to go, like, insane. I'm sorry, say what you want about like the US military complex, that's fucking impressive, astounding. I'm so glad that we and our Israeli our Israeli funded warmongers and hawks that I'm so glad that we were able to develop this insane technology. Like, this is just crazy. And just before my Marxist-Leninists get too mad at me for being too capitalistic. I think it's also really cool, China tech, and I'm scared of China space arm. I went ballistic about this when I found out about it. It's fucking scary. Is this it? I don't know if this is the right video, but China has a satellite with an arm that they can, like, maneuver that can yank other satellites out of fucking orbit. Like, that is insane. That is insane. That is insanity. Like, what do you mean you could just, like, yank a satellite out of... Do you know how bad it would be if we got yanked out of orbit? Like, we wouldn't have any GPS, we wouldn't have any radar, we don't have any type of, like, forecasting technology to know if we were gonna get hit by any type of, like, fucking bombs or... Everything is satellite-based. Like, if we have... I don't know if this is the video, but I remember seeing this like a year ago, maybe like a year and a half ago.
If you have Graves' disease, gritty eyes could be more than a rough patch. People with Graves could also get thyroid eye disease or TED,
who's speaking
which
at
may
me right
need
now?
a different doctor.
Why are you...
Find a TED eye specialist
Who's
at
talking?
mythyroideyes.com.
Is it this? What is speaking? What the fuck? Okay. Is this it? No. Whatever. The source is like Trust Bro. I swear I saw this at some point. This is actually so much. Is Elon Musk still not doing anything with NASA? Like, what happened to the Elon Musk the Space Dragon program? Is that still going on? Okay. Was that just them being dramatic? They didn't actually pull out yet. Okay, that's good. That's good. God bless. I was getting really scared about our space space presence. They evolved so good now that even an air gap isn't safe because they can get some data from the fan frequencies. So I didn't understand what this meant when I was reading through and doing the research, but I saw when it said like the attack, it was like, oh, the USB was given and they found like a leak through an open air whatever. I was like, how is it open air? Like, did they just, like, you could just, like, fly over and, like, go in? Like, no, it's literally the air. Like, what does that mean? Everything's lagging right now. Hang on. My poor computer. My poor computer. Whatever. Arya works at a Costa restaurant, confirmed she works for the Mossad. Yeah, true. Netanyahu's actually in my closet right now. He signs all my checks. Happy Shabbat! Let me know when you want the Mossad check. This is gonna be my new bit. Actually, I think this is already a bit that I have, but I think it's funny. I like this. It meant they put it on the USB and plugged it into one of the computers at the faculty. It's air gap means it's not wirelessly connected. Yeah, because if they try and do it wirelessly, they can get like intercepted, right? Like it's literally like through the fucking air. I don't know how all these frequencies and like microwaves and shit work. It's honestly, I have such a hard time conceptualizing anything that I can't see. I took AP Physics C, and I shit you not. I think I literally, my average, because they split it up like so AP Physics C is split between your mechanics and then your electromagnetism and whatever. And the way that my school did it was like the first half of the year you did all of your mechanics and like dynamics and all of like the physical stuff, like Newton's laws and like force equals mass times all of that fun stuff, okay? Then the second half of the year was when you start talking about like radio waves and like different like currents and all of these. I honestly couldn't even recite to you what the proper verbiage is because I failed so hard. Like the only reason why I passed that class was because of my average in the first half of the year was so high, and I think it dropped like 20 points. I don't understand anything. Like past like the physical, what is real. I'm too much of a pragmatic. I just can't conceptualize it. That's what, oh my god, watching Interstellar was so mind fucking. I was so obsessed with it for so long, because they like, what's it called, like everything, they like talked to so many different like physicists and astrophysicists to make it like everything that happened in that movie is physically possible, and I don't understand any of that. Like, how is any of that physically possible? I don't, like, what, they're fifth dimensional beings that can move through space, so that can move through time the same way that we can move through space, and I'm just supposed to exist with that knowledge, and like that's just real. It's crazy stuff. Just, I want everyone to see that I'm doing this. We have an opportunity for someone named Mario to do the funniest thing ever. No. I should do a permaban, but it's just the first one. I am so against Luigi Mangione. I am so against the romanticization and whatever glorification of political like, do you understand how actually fucking retarded that is? Please, play it out in your head. What would happen if Donald Trump got assassinated? That's it? Oh, game over? Everyone's done? Oh, wow, no one thought of that one before! Like, how retarded? Like, okay, so you get a bunch of stories. It's such a childish, like, brain dead, oh, I don't like this guy, why don't you just kill him? If you like ice cream so much, why don't you just marry it? Shut the fuck up. Get out of my chat. Lame. And the only reason why I went off is because he was chatting that earlier and I didn't acknowledge it for a reason.
Years before they could ever get going, and I really think it's probably the last thing. They have to recover from a hell of a tough war.
Would you also be demanding that the IAEA have full rights to inspect in Iran?
Or somebody, yeah, or somebody that we respect,
and then,
including ourselves.
And a question for both the President and the Attorney General. Under birthright citizenship, if this is implemented, who would be tasked with actually vetting citizenship? And how, like, would this be a situation where you have nurses and doctors checking for citizenship of parents? Or?
This is all pending litigation. It's going.
I want to read the birthright citizenship one first, but like this is this is exactly how, like, this is everything that's wrong with politics in America. Ma'am, you just went through this entire court case, this entire litigation process. This is after you ran on this platform. This is after your administration literally wrote a 900-page document outlining like, you thought about this, okay? With the birthright citizenship, logistically, how would that function? How would that work? Would the hospitals be doing it? Would you not get a birth certificate until you verify the citizen, or are we just gonna have like a bunch of stateless babies in the hospital with no documentation? If a Democrat were proposing this, every Republican would immediately say that this was a conspiracy for a child sex trafficking ring to steal all the children of the babies and raise them to be satanic sex slaves. Like, she doesn't have a fucking answer on who's gonna be dealing with the citizen. Like, what is that? It's in litigation right now, so you didn't think about it at all? At all? You're doing an entire press conference celebrating the victory of it, and you didn't, like, you didn't think on who would be carrying it out?
To be decided in October by the Supreme Court, and we'll discuss that after the litigation.
If you have an undocumented baby, would that baby then be an enforcement priority?
The violent criminals in our country are the priority now. Let me put it in perspective.
That's not fucking true. Why are they going after people at work? Why are they going after people in church? Why are they going after people going to their appointments to get the finalization for their immigration papers? That's not prioritizing the criminals, babe. That's prioritizing the people that are just trying to fucking do the right thing.
Today marked the 2,711th arrest in our country of TDA members. Just TDA. Everyone in this room agrees.
Remember, when she says TDA, Tren de Aragua, she's saying accused of. These people have not been given due process. They have not been proven to be gang members in any court of law under any type of jurisdiction. She's literally talking out of her ass.
They are one of the most violent criminal organizations in the world. And the Biden administration let them walk into our country for the last 4 years. 2,700.
When she says the Biden administration let them walk into the country, she's talking about Biden taking away Title 42 and the revocation of the other immigration policies that Donald Trump had, like Remain in Mexico, which literally didn't do shit. The main thing was Title 42. That was a COVID thing. No one was immigrating anywhere because of fucking COVID, and after it was over, we had a lot of people that died in America because Donald Trump was a retard and didn't handle COVID correctly. So what did that do? It caused the labor force to kind of decrease. So what do you do when you have a huge lack of laborers and a huge increase in demand for immigration? You make it fucking easier for people to move here. Like,
111 of them today have been arrested in our country. That is the priority of Donald Trump. That is the priority of this country, of Homeland Security, of all of our lawyers, of FBI. That's the priority. That will be discussed in October when the Supreme Court hopefully rules in our favor, and we're very confident of that. But you should all feel safer now that President Trump can deport all of these.
You should feel safer as a U.S. citizen that the President of the United States can say he doesn't give a fuck whether or not you are a U.S. citizen if he doesn't want to give you the opportunity to prove it. You should feel so safe for that you could just get picked up off the street and detained for looking too brown, for looking too suspicious, for looking like a criminal, and just now your birth certificate isn't proof of citizenship because of this birthright citizenship shit. Now you're not being given any type of court of law where you're able to prove your citizenship, or like, you should feel so much safer. You should feel so much safer that we have literal civilians that are cosplaying as fucking ICE members to shoot people. You should feel so much safer now. Like you guys should feel so safe. America is so safe now.
Of these gangs, and not one district court judge can think they're an emperor over this administration and his executive powers and why the people of the United States elected him.
Oh my god! What did you just say? No court can think that they are the emperor over the executive president he's not an executive president. That's not what the president is for. That's not that. Did this woman go to law school? Did she learn what the fucking, like, the whole, what is it? This whole shit. Do you not know what the fuck this means? It's equal! It's equal, it's fair, it's fuck you.
I just might add one thing, and they used birthright citizenship, some of the worst people, some of the cartels, to get people into our country, just so you know. And again, I say, if you look at the end of the Civil War, I
thought Biden was letting them all in now. Hang on. I thought that Biden was welcoming them all with a fucking parade. Now you're saying that they were cognizant, coherent, like, plotting enough to come over here, have babies, and then raise American-bred gangsters for Venezuelan gangs in America, to then what? Go to Aurora, Colorado and buy a fucking apartment complex? Like, okay. Oh my god.
1800s is a very turbulent time. If you take the end day, was it 1869 or whatever, but you take that exact day, that's when the case was filed. And the case ended shortly thereafter. This had to do with the babies of slaves, very, very obviously. And I think we're going to win. People I don't think they went about discussing it right. I came along and we looked and we said, wait a minute, this is wrong. We've been looking at birthright citizenship wrong for years, but they've used it.
Have you ever heard? I don't know how universal of an experience this is going to be, but if you've ever heard a very emotionally unaware man talk as though he has experienced emotion for the first time, they say it with like such like an air of, I've really cracked a code that nothing else can figure out, that nobody else can figure out, like, I've just been thinking recently, and like, sometimes people are really fucked and they don't even realize it. And then they act like really fucked, but it's not even their fault because they didn't even know that they were fucked up to begin with, And I just feel like no one understands that. And it's like I'm sorry, I learned that from watching Dora in elementary school. It just gives me such an extra layer of frustration, like hearing Donald Trump talk as though no one's ever thought to look at birthright citizenship this way. No one has ever thought that birthright citizenship only applies to the white Christian ones that I like. Like no one's ever thought that within the jurisdiction of means under the citizenship. Like doesn't that mean that I am the sole God-chosen, like, savior of America to save it? Like, it's such malignant, narcissistic bullshit, and everyone just feeds into it, and it's so upsetting. Everyone in this press room, in all of the press rooms, I haven't watched these in so long. The only reason I'm watching this is because this is my first time back in a while, so I'm gonna suffer through it. But I don't like watching the press briefings here now because he doesn't say shit. It's not even informative anymore. It's just really triggering and like rage bait. And every single fucking reporter has to kiss his ass and suck his dick before they ask the question. Sir, did you know that the border crossings was at 0? Sir, how do you even do it? Sir, is it so hard being so amazing and so buff and so handsome all the fucking time? Sir, how do you do it? How are you able to function carrying around that gargantuous cock on your, it's just, oh my god, it's just so, I just hate it here so much. But I don't. I love it here, which is why I'm so upset. Like,
cartels have used birthright citizenship to get very bad people in, and what Pam's doing and what Todd and everybody else, what they're doing at DOJ and all over, FBI, ICE, Border Patrol, these are incredible people. They're trying to keep our country safe, and they don't want to have people come in. This is just another way that they get illegal immigrants into our country, and in some cases, very, very bad ones. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. On your tax bill, if I could for a moment, senators are racing to rewrite parts of it right now after the Senate parliamentarian ruled that sections of it were outside of the process that they're using to get this through. Do you think that senators should respect the decisions of the parliamentarian? And what have you personally done in the last 48 hours to try and get Republican senators who are against the bill to a yes?
Well, look, it's a great bill. It's a massive tax cut. If it's not approved, your taxes will go up by 68%. Think of that.
America has a toxic relationship with Donald Trump. That's it. That's just all it is. It's like America has like a really toxic, really abusive relationship with Donald Trump. Sir, why would the tax cuts be a 68%? Why would not increasing your tax cuts result in a 68% increase in taxes? That now we're forced to make cuts in all of these other departments to compensate for the tax cuts that you made 10 years ago for no like you're the one that put us here. Why did you give us those big tax cuts? Why are we in such a deficit? Why did you spend so much money? Like, you're the one that did it. I feel like this is, if you have like a parent that grew up and literally, like, this is a very, very probably like popular story that happens. If you have a parent that like shelters their child the entire time that they're growing up, doesn't let them get a job, doesn't let them have any financial independence, doesn't let them like go outside of anything that they're doing. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you're gonna leave me? Look at how fucked you're gonna be out there without me. I do everything for you. Yeah, bitch, because you haven't let me fucking do anything. Like, yeah, I wonder whose fault is that? Like, if only someone had not acted like a literal child in his first term and just given away free money left and, like, if only... oh my god. This is like I think sometimes when I'm like out of politics for a bit, this happened when I went camping too. Like I go back and I realize how actually jaded to everyone is. Do you know how fucking crazy this would be to like explain to a normie? Every time I try and talk to someone that's not like super into politics, I sound psycho because of the amount of like detail and intricate illegal like type of I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you have to really understand what it's supposed to look like to know how fucked up everything that's going on is. And, like, try to explain to a normie, like, yeah, the alternate slates of electors, like, you can't do that. How do you even begin to explain it without, like, what do you mean you can't do that? Well, he wouldn't have done it, obviously, if he couldn't do it, because he's the president. No, that's where you're wrong. That's literally the whole thing. That's literally the entire, that's him. That's it.
68, a record, the highest in the history.
I'm done with this. Fuck him. Okay. I need to see what are the 6 Supreme Court rulings that were just ruled on. Scared about this Obamacare one because I am on Medicaid. Okay, recent decisions. Universal injunctions. Oh, this is the one about the lower courts. Okay. Members of the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force for officers whose appointment. What is this? This is just about RFK. Universal Service Contribution Scheme does not violate Constitution's non-delegation doctrine. Congress sufficiently guided and constrained the discretion that it allowed. Okay. Boring. Parents challenge inclusivity LGBTQ T. Free Speech Coalition. Fuck. Texas, which requires commercial websites publishing explicit what? Huh? This wasn't a thing already? Wait, which requires certain commercial websites publishing sexually explicit content that is obscene to minors to verify the visitors are 18 years or older. Is that not a thing already? Is that state exclusive? Does that pop-up pops up on anything? It's like if I go to like an alcohol site too, it'll be like you have to be 21 or older to click on this, and I'm like, yeah. Let me browse. Where's the one about Planned Parenthood? Did I miss that? Why? I thought there was one about Planned Parenthood. Oh, it's the Medicaid. Okay. Is this the which one is the Medicaid one? Oh, Planned Parenthood. Riley versus Bondi. Is that Pam Bondi? FDA. RJ. What is this? What is this one? Is this a research stream or a catch-up stream? It's both? What? I'm catching up while researching? Okay, which one do I want to do first? First Step Act. What is this? A firearm. I don't care about that. I actually do not give a fuck about guns. Sorry. Texas charged with capital murder. The state's theory at trial that Gutierrez wielded one of the two screwdrivers. Oh, sorry, this is not funny. I'm just... At the sentencing phase, the jury was required to answer whether Texas proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Gutierrez actually caused Harrison's death. Oh, is this like a... Court concluded that what is this? What is this about? Saw DNA testing? Is this a death penalty thing? Where it is feasible? Okay, I don't think I care about this. Okay, it's the Medicaid. Trump. Plaintiffs. Enforcing of Trump's executive order. Okay, this is the birthright citizenship one. Goated. Has Arya voiced her thoughts about Zoran yet? Rewind a bit. I think I said it when I played a video where I said he was based. Just go back. I was talking about Instagram and shit. Okay. This is the birthright citizenship one. Right? Okay. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of what I do while taking notes is just like formatting. But I think that's also like what a lot of it is. Like, if I format it correctly on here, then it just prompts me to like recall everything that's going up on here, you know? Thanks. Also, props to you for calling him base in spite of being a self-described lib. Libs generally wanna marry capitalism. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know what any of these words mean to anyone outside of myself. So whatever I self-describe as is probably not applicable to anyone except for me because of how absolutely fucked all of like the labels and verbiage and everything are. Like when I think of liberal, I don't know if this is what I'm thinking of. Hang on. Liberal, early America, separate, but separation, yeah. This is what I think of when I think of liberal. Is like just the separation of powers, the fact that there should always be checks and balances in the government so as to not give it too much power, the fact that the people should always have the right, it's very, some may say libertarian. Not so much small government. Can have a big government so long as the big government doesn't infringe on my fucking rights and my ability to do whatever the fuck I want. Why does everyone care so much about everyone else? I'm not thinking liberal of like, oh, I want everyone to be gay and blue-haired and I want cat litter boxes in every bathroom. And I'm also not thinking liberal like free trade and capitalism and complete free market and no regulation and the market is the best. Like that's also not what I'm thinking. So I don't. Okay. Am I able to watch the oral arguments for this? Is that like public is that public knowledge? Is that a thing? Okay, I feel like this is the kind of place I can discuss something to see if anyone else is aware of it, so I'm gonna tap a few long ones next to get some feedback. I don't know what that means. Like chats? Okay. Where do I see? Ah! Yay! When was it argued? This one. Okay, there we go. We'll do that later. Okay. Argued May 15th, 2025. I can't. Oh, wait.
We will hear argument this morning in case 24A884, Trump versus CASA Incorporated, and the consolidated cases. General Sauer.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump issued Executive Order 14160, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. This order reflects the original meaning of the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed citizenship to the children of former slaves, not to illegal aliens or temporary visitors.
Can I adjust the speed? Oh, goated as fuck. Should I download this? No, I'm just gonna link it. I don't want to do that to my computer right now. No! Damn it! Why did I do that? Fuck. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Visitors. Multiple district courts promptly issued nationwide or universal injunctions blocking this order, and a cascade of such universal injunctions followed. Since January 20th, district courts have now issued 40 universal injunctions against the federal government, including 35 from the same 5 judicial districts.
This guy sounds like an actor, and oh my god, I wish that I was good. I wish I was good with actor names. This guy's voice sounds like a lot like an actor that I recognize from like a comedy. He's like a comedy actor. I wouldn't know how to describe him, and I wouldn't even know how to begin to.
This is a bipartisan problem that has now spanned the last 5 presidential administrations. Universal injunctions exceed the judicial power granted in Article 3, which exists only to address the injury to the complaining party. They transgress the traditional bounds of equitable authority, and they create a host of practical problems. Such injunctions prevent the percolation of novel and difficult legal questions. They encourage rampant forum shopping. They require judges to make rushed, high-stakes, low-information decisions. They circumvent Rule 23 by offering all the benefits but none of the burdens of class certification. They operate asymmetrically, forcing the government to win everywhere while the plaintiffs can win anywhere. They invert the ordinary hierarchy of appellate review. They create the ongoing risk of conflicting judgments. They increase the pressures on this court's emergency docket. They create what Justice Powell described as repeated and essentially head-on confrontations between the life-tenured and representative branches of government. And they disrupt the Constitution's careful balancing of the separation of powers. I welcome the court's questions.
General Sauer, these universal injunctions, as you say, have proliferated over the last 3 decades or so. Would you discuss, though, the origins of universal injunctions? In particular, I'm interested in sort of historical analogs or the historical pedigree, particularly the Bill of Peace that was proffered by respondents.
Yes, Justice Thomas, as you, I think, first pointed out in your separate opinion in Trump against Hawaii, the Bill of Peace is something very distinct from a universal injunction. So the Bill of Peace involved a resolution of a small, discrete set of claims of a small, discrete group, and even more fundamentally, it was binding on the members of that class and those represented by the class. So it's much more analogous to a modern class action under Rule 23. And in fact, as we've argued in other cases, and as this court has described in opinions like Ortiz, the Bill of Peace evolved into, and is directly developed into, so to speak, the modern class action that has all the same features of a Bill of Peace. So in the words of Chief Judge Sutton in the Sixth Circuit, the Bill of Peace, it was a domesticated animal that looks nothing like the dragon of a universal injunction.
I'm sorry. Here, there's a discrete identified group on one issue. Does citizenship mean, are you born in the territory of the United States? Or does it mean, are you loyal to someone else, which is your claim? Or are your parents loyal to someone else? So that's no different than what happened in a Bill of Peace. The United States is bigger, so it extends more broadly, but it's still an identifiable group on a discrete, singular question.
Your Honor,
Ooh, got him. Okay, so hang on. That already started. So, oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to make it through this whole thing. Jesus Christ. It's much more analogous to a modern class action under Rule 23. Hang on. The Bill of Peace involved a resolution of a small discrete set of claims of a small discrete group, and even more fundamentally, it was binding on the members of that class and those represented by that class. Bill of Peace evolved into and has directly developed into, so to speak, the modern class action that has all the same features of a Bill of Peace. So in the words of Chief Justice Sutton, the Bill of Peace was a domesticated animal that looked nothing like the dragon of a universal injunction. The fuck is this Bill of Peace? Okay. Bill of Peace was an English court practice using this involving multiple parties that shared common aspects. A group known as if the equity court allowed the matter to proceed as a Bill of Peace, the results of the suit would bind all members of the multitude. Oh! Oh! Are they trying to argue that this shouldn't be applicable to anyone outside of this one specific fucking person that they're saying? Like, okay, hang on. I'm gonna run this back. I'm not understanding this. This is why we're here.
The United States? Or does it mean, are you loyal to someone else, which is your claim? Or are your parents loyal to someone else?
We will hear argument this morning in case 24A884.
Require separate judges to make rushed, high-stakes, low-information decisions. They circumvent Rule 23 by offering all the benefits but none of the... Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court, asymmetrically, forcing the government to win everywhere while the plaintiffs can win anywhere. They invert the ordinary hierarchy of appellate review. They create the ongoing risk of conflicting judgments. They increase the pressures on this court's emergency docket. They create what Justice Powell described as repeated and essentially head-on confrontations between the life-tenured and representative branches of government. And they disrupt the Constitution's careful balancing of the separation of powers. I welcome the court's questions.
General Sauer, these universal injunctions, as you say, have proliferated over the last 3 decades or so. Would you discuss, though, the origins of universal injunctions? In particular, I'm interested in sort of historical analogs or the historical pedigree, particularly the Bill of Peace that was proffered by respondents.
Would you discuss the origins of Is that normal? To, like, do a little history test? Do you even know what the fuck a universal injunction is? Do you know what you're arguing for right now? I'm interested in this sort of historical analogs, or the historical pedigree, particularly the Bill of Peace that was proffered by the respondents. Why is Thomas doing that? What? The plaintiffs, individual organizations, and states have filed 3 separate suits to enjoin the implementation and enforcement of... Okay, so is this entire... Okay, it's 3 separate suits. Whatever, CASA, whatever. Washington, maybe DC or state, I don't know. And then New Jersey state, okay. 3 separate suits. And now they want to do a Bill of Peace, which would bind all of the members of the multitude, whether they actually appeared in the case or not, to basically mean that this applies to everyone in America. So not just the people in CASA Inc. and Washington and New Jersey, right? So then when Sotomayor says there's a discrete identified group on one issue, there's no difference than what happens in a peace and a Bill of Peace. The United States is bigger, so it extends more broadly, but it's still an identifiable group on a singular discrete question, which it 100% is. Okay. Caught up. That makes more sense now. Glad we got there.
Yes, Justice Thomas, as you, I think, first pointed out in your separate opinion in Trump against Hawaii, the Bill of Peace is something very distinct from a universal injunction. So the Bill of Peace involved a resolution of a small, discrete set of claims of a small, discrete group, and even more fundamentally, it was binding on the members of that class and those represented by the class. So it's much more analogous to a modern class action under Rule 23. And in fact, as we've argued in other cases, and as this court has described in opinions like Ortiz, the Bill of Peace evolved into, and is directly developed into, so to speak, the modern class action that has all the same features of a Bill of Peace. So in the words of Chief Judge Sutton in the Sixth Circuit, the Bill of Peace, it was a domesticated animal that looks nothing like the dragon of a universal injunction.
I'm sorry. Here, there's a discrete identified group on one issue. Does citizenship mean, are you born in the territory of the United States? Or does it mean, are you loyal to someone else, which is your claim? Or are your parents loyal to someone else? So that's no different than what happened in a Bill of Peace. The United States is bigger, so it extends more broadly, but it's still an identifiable group on a discrete, singular question.
Your Honor, I'd say three things in response to that. First of all, our primary contention is that the citizenship clause related to the children of former slaves, not to illegal aliens who weren't even present as a discrete class at that time. But
Fuck, I should have listened to this so much sooner. Did he just... Our primary contention is that the citizenship clause related only to the children of former... What? Wait, hang on. Sorry. I'm geeking out about the fact that he actually just said that was his primary contention. Like, I should... Holy fucking shit. I'm sorry. Your primary... There are good arguments. This is the fucking thing that I... Oh my god, there's so many thoughts going in my head. I'm not gonna be able to finish a singular one. This is the thing that I fucking hate about retards is, like... I'm not that much smarter than the average person. I know I'm not. And I know that I am going to get an ego from the amount of stupidity that I'm fucking surrounded by. You guys make me feel like fucking geniuses. Jesus Christ. Like, there are good arguments to be made against birthright citizenship, against the security reasons, against the fact that, like, you know, obviously I don't agree with it. I think that America is supposed to be an immigrant home. That's the whole fucking point of it. I think it's lame that people are trying to forget that. Like, you can have, you know, France is good for their wine and their baguettes. Italy is good for their food. And America is good for making fucking money by doing nothing. Like, anyone can make it in America. I think that's a good thing. All that to say, if your primary contention is that the citizenship clause was only related to children of former slaves, it's 2025. Do you think you're not the only fucking one that's tried that? Like, hang on, let's test my Supreme Court knowledge. Is it gonna be Kim v. Wong? Is it gonna be Kim v. Wong? Birthright citizenship? Wong Kim Ark. Wong Kim Ark. I'm so good. Like, it's so malignantly narcissistic of you to think that you're the first one that has ever tried this shit. It's so retarded of you to not even look at history, to think that you're the first one to, But what if they said that we could only not lynch the black people in 1400s? They never said anything about the black people right now. Like, oh my god, okay. What story did Joe just tell us? NYC night. I'm it on Breaking Points. Afterwards, in my feed, Emily Jashinsky's new channel pops up. It's called After Party. Her first guest is Tucker Carlson, so I watched the episode and it was soft on him. It got me curious about who is producing the show. So after a bit of research, it was owned by a company called Sirius. And Joe, Sirius XFM? Joe. Joe. It's like one of the biggest fucking broadcasting corporations. Is this gonna be a conspiracy about how is one of the biggest broadcasting corporations is funding both a right-wing and a left-wing show? Let's see. Okay, and a subsidiary of CBS is MK Media. MK Media is all of people of Megyn Kelly's network. Okay, so Wednesday night, Thursday morning, there's part 2 upcoming, and I watched it live. I was there from the start, and no joke, there were so many bot accounts in there. I'm almost certain I was the only human. I started to read the chat and how they interacted, talking points. They would talk about who was interacting with, etc., etc. Ryan Grimm and Emily Jashinsky are pretty popular center-left politically, and I enjoy the... Center-left? Breaking points? Am I thinking of different people? What'd you say? You say breaking points or counterpoints? No, you said breaking points. These people are not center left. What the fuck? Okay. Jashinsky's new channel had me questioning reality as it was unhinged. Is it a thing to manipulate chat in that way and just pay a big name and a well-liked pundit to shape bigger opinion? And would Breaking Points allow her to do it? Imagine hosting Breaking Points and having a side gig with a network ran by... Okay. The network ran by Megyn... It's Sirius XM. This is not a network ran... Megyn Kelly is not the fucking megamind, mastermind behind Sirius XM. Are you kidding me? That's not that. I'm kind of sketch of this whole story based solely off the fact that you've referred to them as center-left politically. These people are so not center-left. They're very left, which is fine. Good for them, but if you think this is center-left, I'm very concerned about your political spec.
Let's move on to Bernie, shall we?
Yeah, so Bernie Sanders went back on with Joe Rogan. I sort of skimmed through the whole conversation, and there was a long stretch that was interesting, but kind of, went on for a long time about like AI and what do we do about this and how do people find meaning. So that was a lot of it. Also, Bernie just doing his normal Bernie thing, talking about healthcare and the millionaires, the billionaires was also a good part of it. But there were a couple pieces that I found.
Like, it's been 30 seconds. And the billionaires are responsible for everything already. Hello, Arya. You're from New York, right? Zoran won the primary for mayor. That's cool for you guys. I mean, not me. I don't know who my mayor is, actually. Never mind, I do know who my mayor is. Okay. That was upsetting. Okay, this is so like hyper specific. This guy went on Fox. Well, I know this guy from like local politics. He's like a celeb, right? But this guy went on Fox and went viral for saying that Mahmoud Khalil, like the Columbia student, was paid by Hamas. Like, not just that he was, like, a Hamas sympathizer, not just that he was, sketched to American ideals, that he was, like, actively being funded by Hamas. And I've also met him on numerous occasions, so it's lovely. I didn't forget my mayor's name. I simply did not know that he was the official mayor. Like, I didn't realize that county executive was mayor. Is that the same position? Like, I know that he's the county executive, I didn't realize that that's also the fucking mayor. Do counties even have mayors? Because this is only for New York. Like, this, I couldn't vote in this. This is only for the city. This is only for the 5 boroughs. Do you have a town mayor? Do I not know? Maybe I just don't know what a mayor is. Is the mayor only for a town? And then what, executive is for the whole county? Okay. Strange. I'm dumb, sorry. But MK Media. I mean, I think it would be, Joe, I think it would be, like, suspicious if there were less of, like, if there were less degrees removed away from it. Like, like, the fact that it's the producer, and also, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in my chats are also bots. I'm not buying them. I'm pretty sure that 20% of, like, all engagement online is just bots. I don't know what their goal is. I don't trust it, but that's why I don't like any of the comments. Careful you don't dox the bejesus out of yourself. Do you think I was dumb enough to look up my town mayor? Come on now. If you look at this is my representative. She came from Hempstead, that's why. I assume Breaking Point's was center left because of Crystal. Kyle is left leaning. I don't know their names, but I know. Well, I think you saw. I'm like subscribed to them. I watch them because like for the explicit. Like there's if I go through my subscriptions real quick, like there's a couple of people that I keep on here, like Brett Cooper. I keep on here just to keep tabs on like what outside of my little bubble is. Like same thing with like Leisha Miller, like she's a little to the left of me, kind of like not super in my like niche with her style of politics, but I just like to keep up with like outside opinions. And then like Chris Williamson too, he's like a little more Republican too, but I think he's like more of a podcaster guy too. He's not really like that political and shit. But yeah. So I keep them on with the explicit purpose. Yeah. King. So the bot thing is really real. Interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like the only reason why I think this is because I like just started doing all of this stuff, but like the comments on my videos from when I first started were like so strange, right? And just dealing with immigration echo, but like these are not real people. Like your observations are incredibly accurate. I don't know if this is a good one. I don't know if this is I don't know. So, okay, some of these are just all like Adams fans that just came over. But like I'll get comments that are like, I'm a 51-year-old liberal and I've been 51-year-old Republican and I grew up and it's like, no the fuck you didn't. You're a robot and you've never experienced love. Look, I had this video go viral and then I ghosted. I'm so fucked up. Oh my god. I need to get better at this fucking YouTube shit. Like I'm so bad at like all of like the cat, because I think the thing is I don't see this as a job yet. Like this isn't a job for me. This is I just happen to get like a little bit of extra money for this. But this isn't a job for me. I'm not making enough for this to be a full-time, like, for me to, like, job, you know? So I don't feel obligated to, like, oh, I have to clock into work and, like, go live. My bad. This is just fun now.
More fundamentally here, as to the issue of the Bill of Peace, there are critical differences. The Bill of Peace was a binding judgment that would bind absent class members. Here we have the
Well, here, class actions don't bind anyone who opts out, so class actions are not like bills of peace.
I would think that a Rule 23b2 class action, which would be the relevant analog here, would be one that would be binding on absent class members and would not have the same notice and opt-out procedures. And more fundamentally, that sort of argument that there's a commonality here among all the people who purport to be affected by this is the sort of argument that's made in class certification.
So can I ask you a question? Your theory here is arguing that Article 3 and principles of equity both prohibit federal courts from issuing universal injunctions. Do I have your argument correct?
We argue both of those.
You argue both of those?
Yeah.
This is so stupid. When do they start getting to the actual, because all this is so stupid. Like, how long do they actually spend talking about, we have the Wong art case, sorry, how long do they spend talking about the logistics of whether or not the court is allowed, like, that's, do you understand how weak and pathetic and spineless and fucking, like, cucked out of an argument you have to go off of technicalities between a bill of peace and a class action? Like, do you know how sad and pathetic it is to have to, like, this isn't even RFK, I'm dead, this is not RFK. The amount of, like, oh my god, you know, when people say Donald Trump didn't rape E. Jean Carroll, it was just his finger. He won a defamation case because it was digital rape, and, like, the official classification for New York State is, like, penile rape. That's what you won on? That's your argument? That's your strongest position? What? Like, why is this how you're starting? Oh my god, it's just so blatantly, like, sad and pathetic. Jesus Christ.
If that's true, that means even the Supreme Court doesn't have that power.
The Supreme Court would have the authority to issue binding precedent nationwide.
But we couldn't enforce it against universally, is your argument.
If there was a decision that violated the precedent of the court, then the affected plaintiffs would get a separate judgment.
And that means you're talking about the hundreds and thousands of people who weren't part of the judgment of the court. They would all have to file individual actions?
Not necessarily.
Or a class action?
A class action would be
Isn't that makes no sense whatsoever.
Respectfully, we believe that.
So the people that are not included in this case are gonna what? Are gonna file their own class action? Yeah, they can file a class action. Why the fuck would so why the fuck can't you just include what?
Well, what was the purpose of the Bill of Peace if not to settle a legal question finally? And if even the Supreme Court doesn't have that right and must invite hundreds of thousands of lawsuits, what are we buying into?
If a set of claims satisfies the rigorous criteria of Rule 23, Rule 23 is the modern analog of a Bill of Peace.
What the fuck is Rule 23? Rule 23. Why is this like such a big... I'm so confused on... Listen, I'm only 11 pages in, okay? But I'm really confused on why these 11 pages are not actually talking about birthright citizenship and just talking about technically who can and can't be prevented from being like who can and can't qualify under this like case because of the 3 separate lawsuits. Like they're still talking about 32 pages in, they're still talking about Rule 23. Can you present the birthright? Do they present the birthright citizenship argument? The lawsuits are because the executive order is illegal. Hang on, the lawsuits are because the executive order is illegal. The easiest way for you to prove that the lawsuits are bullshit is not for you to go off of Rule 23 and all of these like classifications of Bill of Peace of different class action lawsuits of who is and isn't going to be stopped and prevented by this injunction. Like the defense to this would be no, it's not illegal. But they obviously don't have that because it obviously is illegal and unconstitutional, and so now they have to grasp at literally everything else except for that. Just...
So what? No, we don't, because the argument here is that the president is violating an established, not just one, but by my count, 4 established Supreme Court precedents. We have the one ARC case where we said fealty to a foreign sovereign doesn't defeat your entitlement, your parents' fealty to a foreign sovereign doesn't defeat your entitlement to citizenship as a child.
Is this real? As a fellow human, I believe comments generated by artificial intelligence can contribute positively to the public engagement on social media. Intuitively, that sounds really wrong. And I'm thinking about it more, and it still doesn't really feel right. It still feels really wrong. Yeah, no, I don't want... Even if you're explicitly told that they're AI generated, like that doesn't... We're humans, like we're susceptible to confirmation bias and to like suggestive programming and shit. Like I wouldn't want... No, I'm trying to give it a good side. Because I feel like sometimes people don't like chat if they're the only ones chatting, and then like if you have other people chatting, then that would create like a better environment to chat in.
We have another case where we said that even if your parents are here illegally, if you're born here, you're a citizen. We have yet another case that says even if your parents came here and were stopped at the border, but you were born in our territory, you're still a citizen. And we have another case that says even if your parents secured citizenship illegally, you're still a citizen. So as far as I see it, this order violates 4 Supreme Court precedents. Yeah, and you are claiming...
That was so good, Ed. What did she say? It violates... Yeah. Okay, what cases are these? Hang on. The Trump admin... What, they're the defendants, yeah. The admin... Admin claims their primary contention is birthright citizenship clause is only applicable to those. To the children of freed slaves. To the children of freed slaves. I wish that there was an the reason why I like this theme is because I can make things different colors. But then it sucks because if I make it different colors, then it gets nested. Does that make sense? So like if I make this like I want to have this green, so like, oh, this is what Sotomayor said. But then if I squish this one, it gets nested in it because it's technically not it's technically like a smaller heading, which sucks. So I end up having to do like a little like, okay, there you go. Sucks, whatever. Okay, this was three lawsuits filed in 3 different jurisdictions, all claiming that executive order. No. How do you select the link again? Is it K? No, it's L. Sorry. There you go. Is unconstitutional. How do I want to organize this? I think I'm gonna do all of like the Trump claims here. So this is like the Trump side. And then I'll do all of like the, what's the other side? Casa? Casa, okay. Strange. Okay, the admin claims their primary contention is birthright citizen. Okay, they also claim, rule 23 regarding class actions. Lawsuits, prevent the 3 suits from, what is it, from combining? Oh fuck, I didn't do my sources. Is this all for your website thing, Arya, or is it YouTube videos? It's just my notes. I mean, like, once I figure out how to get it on my website, it will go on my website, but, like, this isn't for anything, it's just my notes. Mark my words, I will be someone someday, and this will come in handy. And that's all. Yeah, I've been doing this for like a year and a half. Like even before I started like doing videos or anything, I was just taking obsessive notes about everything that was like going on. I just like looking at things. I like doing research. I think it's fun. I think having a fascination with politics is really good for me as like a distraction from everything, because there's so much content that I get to just like, it's like a really healthy it's a really healthy, what's it called? Like binge watching. It's like I'm binge watching, but the show that I'm binge watching is just like the political and economic state of the world. And it's like a bonus because I want to like do this as a living and like go into a professional aspect revolving this. So it's like, it's a fun little thing. Research as a hobby is so underrated. I agree. Like this is I tell this to everyone in my life because I talk about politics a lot. Like I geeked about it a lot. But the only reason why I was even able to get so like involved and so hyper in it is because I was literally like trapped at home unemployed. Like I had nothing better to do than sit at home on my ass all day and just like obsessively watch every single fucking Midas Touch video that was getting uploaded. Like not everyone is as lucky, and not I anymore now that I'm not unemployed, but that's how this all started. Okay, so this... How many sources do I have? 3? My 3? Okay, yes. Prevents the 3 suits from... I think I need... I'm gonna watch a video on what this is. What is a bill of peace?
You guys keep going to the wrong side of the fence, okay? You're arguing the wrong point. See where you're coming from? War on sex. Being...
What is this?
Respondents: Donald John Trump aka DBA Donald John Trump and or all other legal financial...
I just want like a video of fucking... Okay. Can I watch you? Like... I just want like a little Khan Academy just telling me what the fuck a bill of peace is. What Rule 23 versus Bill of Peace. I think I understand. I took a civil rights what's it called? I took a college course for like civil law. Not civil rights, civil law. That doesn't qualify me for anything, but like I feel like class actions and lawsuits and stuff like that was covered in tort. I don't remember exactly what tort means. But I know it's something. The general rule in American litigation lawsuits are only brought only in defense of the main party. The class action mechanism is an exception to that rule that permits one or more named plaintiffs. This in focus provides a... Okay, I know what a class action is. What is... This motherfucker is he really just trying to claim that Rule 23 isn't applicable because which one of these is he going after? Pretty sure that is. This is all okay. This whole entire thing. This is all Rule 23, and this guy's just like referring to it like, oh, but Rule 23. Oh, but Rule 23. Oh, which part of Rule 23, bro? Tell me, please, please. Do you concede that the plaintiffs could bring a Rule 23 like the original? So this guy's basically trying to prevent, like, the General Sawyer is trying to prevent Sawyer is trying to use Article 3. The claims or defenses of the representative parties are typicals. Is that Article 3? Or is this Article 3? God, I need to get better at, like, understanding what these things are. A lot of this is just, like, really, like, trivial formatting and, like verbiage type shit. I should just ask ChatGPT. Analyze this court ruling for me and tell me what is and isn't good and what isn't bad about it. Thank you. Tell me how to think and how to feel about it too.
That not just the Supreme Court, that both the Supreme Court and no lower court can stop an executive from universally from violating that those holdings by this court.
We are not claiming that because we're conceding that there could be an inappropriate case.
Only a class.
Can I hear the rest of his answer?
A Rule 23 class action. And then the more fundamental point as to all those Supreme Court decisions you referred
So what do we do temporarily?
Temporarily, the court may...
Wow, he's... to claim that the 3 lawsuits are unable to be ruled on collectively because of the scope? Question mark? I don't know if I'm just really stupid in, like, legal stuff or if that's genuinely what this guy is wasting his time, like, talking about. Hey, ChatGPT, can you run my stream doing research on Supreme Court rulings? Make sure you do a little banter and respond to the comments in the chat. True! True. Yeah. Okay, anyways. Okay. Casa. Sotomayor claims we have references for prior rulings by the court okay your parents, we have one yawn. Oh my god, I have a Red Bull today. I'm like, why do I have a headache? I don't even have any in my fridge, I don't think. Fuck. Do I want to order a Red Bull right now? No. I can't do that. I can't justify that. Do you not do yerbas in New York? What the fuck is a yerba? Did you just call me a slur? Is this weed? Is this a bowl? This looks like a fucking... This looks like something very familiar to me that I love dearly. Oh. Fuck. Hang on. Peace out. Peace out, Joe. Thanks for hopping on. Did I drop the Discord link yet in this live? I don't think I did. Do a random drop. I'm not leaving yet, but